Hey.
No stalling in his credit score. Oh,
It went down recently,
nah,
but
for real, you got like a 720.
I don't want to talk
Me
about
and
that.
my friend. Me and my wife friend. Me and my wife friend. Me and my wife friend.
We have major breaking news in the NBA where the Milwaukee Bucks have reportedly decided to boycott Game 5 against the Orlando Magic in protest of the police shooting of Jacob Blake.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy, Reggie Regg.
And I'm your white friend Marv.
And our white friend Marv is to my left. How you doing today, Marv? What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
So we promised the people
part two.
Part two.
Yeah, part two to the Black Lives Matter movement and topic, and
because there's been a lot going on since we first talked about
it's been
Black Lives Matter. I mean,
yeah,
since this whole since the beginning of the protest and the riots, or I would like to say peaceful protests, because the majority of the people out there are peacefully protesting.
Yeah, especially now
So,
where we're at now.
Yeah.
From the first podcast, if you did listen to the first episode, we aired that night live, like soon as the riot started.
Yeah, man. The everything was on the news. Really mayhem, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
A lot of people upset.
The world went in
rightfully
flames.
so.
Yeah, the world went in flames that night.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked to
cities were on
people
fire.
from North
Yeah.
Carolina, Denver, LA,
Mhm.
South Carolina, Georgia.
And we're not trying to
everywhere.
hype up the media's
No.
agenda, because I strongly believe that the media has an agenda, and the media is not helping this situation at all.
Right, but expound on that. What you mean the media's got an agenda? What you mean?
What I mean is the media likes to show certain clips versus others, or highlight for an extended period of time. That how they do, where they'll cover a topic a whole day or a whole 2 days, or touch on it a whole week. Or when they do cover a story, they only show the burning and the.
Oh, okay, so you mean more so like
I feel like they are not helping in the division of our country,
making the protest seem and the everything seem more violent than it is.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are on Black Lives Matter Part 2. The opening clip that you heard was from basically the new news. The big thing that has happened recently is the NBA players boycotted the NBA playoffs.
Now they're back.
Yeah, so now currently while we're recording, and definitely currently while you're listening, it has started back up. The players boycotted for two games, 2 days, which ended up being 2 days of play.
And just so everyone knows, the Clippers are out.
Yeah, right now as we speak, the Clippers have lost. They lost Game 7. We're not going to see the Battle of L.A. Poor Clippers.
I kind of wanted to see that, but
I wanted to see that too. But the Nuggets did their thing. Shout out to the Nuggets, man. Y'all did an excellent job. Marv, switching the sounds.
Hey,
we gonna dance for the Nuggets for kicking the Clippers' ass.
That's right.
Hey.
That's right.
But to stay on subject, honestly, me as a black man, when I first heard the news, honestly, before they even talked about it, I was saying before they came back to the bubble that they needed to boycott. You know? The league is probably 85 to 90% black now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with the NFL. We know how much money.
I noticed a lot of white coaches though.
A lot of white coaches and owners, right?
Yeah.
So let's not go there, because now you're gonna get me going on just modern day slavery in general. But bless you.
Excuse me.
To to keep it light, I really wanted these guys to boycott from the jump, honestly, because
and stay boycotted.
Right. Now the fact that they're back and they're playing, of course I like, catching a good basketball game, but to really stand for something and stick to it, and really have a major effect, because what happened, right? We saw a trickle down effect. The NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks boycotted. That same game they were playing the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic didn't really know, but they joined. Right after that, the Lakers were supposed to play. They also boycotted. And then we saw the Major Baseball League, Major League Baseball follow suit.
Right.
Other sports around the world follow suit, boycott. And then for me, if you keep this shit going, now you really are, making a statement, because that affects Vegas, all the betting, all the money, the sports. It does affect right now all these sports owners. If all these sports would have boycotted around the world, it would have stuck.
And that's how a protest, in my opinion, is the most effective, is when you take people's money away.
Yes.
Is when you don't spend at those places that you don't, when they stand for something that you don't agree with, don't spend your money there.
Right.
And then they don't have any of your money. And if enough people do that, then it's a major impact.
Right.
It's a major impact. And that, my friends,
that's a boycott. That's a boycott, like a real.
Now, going out in the
say,
streets and marching, making your voice heard, that is another form of protest.
Right, but you're not, like you said, you're not hurting nobody's pockets.
Right, you're not hurting anybody's money. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're not hurting anybody's wallet, because people are still spending money at those places.
For example,
or with those companies.
The 1955 through 1956 bus boycotts. Now, I said December 5th, 1955 through December 20th, 1956. So that's over a year of black people of color, not riding city buses, or let's make it to today's age, right? That's like black people not taking Uber, not taking Lyft, carpooling. If you need to go to work, you go pick up who you need to pick up.
Walk.
Buses, people who have bigger cars, we're going to carpool, right? And the city, the world, the bus departments, they felt that, right? The departments of transportation, they really felt that economically, year of your main people who ride the bus not there,
right?
So that's the kind of mindset I feel like the players should have went into with the boycott. Even though I want my man LeBron to get another ring, I ain't gonna lie. If we talk about what's morally right, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I would like to see them ride out a little bit longer. But at the same time, I commend all the players, because, they do have the platform, to speak. So the fact that a lot of these players have been real strong on it, the fact that it's even on their hearts. I think it comes down to money, ownership. They had the players meeting. Now, what really was said in that players meeting, the world would never know. Like, we probably won't know till 15, 20 years down the line when they make a documentary, what really was said in those meetings, what was said by the owners, what was said by the players.
Right.
But they did come to an agreement, like the agreement that they come to, at least what's going on with the NFL.
Listen, LeBron, we'll give you $15 million more if you just continue with the playoffs, please.
LeBron don't care about no 15 mil. It's them other players. LeBron want that ring. That's what LeBron want. He want that legacy to try to be like Jordan and shit. LeBron could have paid all them players' salaries, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I do want to give a shout. Let's give a shout out. Also, let's get the round of applause ready for Miss Naomi Osaka, the U.S. Open winner, and we want to give her a shout out because she's done some things as a young black woman in America. She's actually kind of mixed, black American and Asian.
I haven't really seen her in the spotlight, really.
Well, she was hot, in this beginning of September. The U.S. Open was going on. Yeah. And, she used her platform to speak. She also, her face mask that she wore between each match, she wore the names of George Floyd.
Okay, that's awesome.
Right, George Floyd, who we know, was recently killed. Also, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, Elijah McClain, and Breonna Taylor, all who were taken out, by the cops or some type of racial situation. As far as like Trayvon Martin, we know what happened with that.
Jacob
Zimmerman.
No, recently. Let's talk about the recent ones.
No, well, this is all recent. This just happened the other day, right?
Right, so but let's talk about the killing.
Nah, this is killing. So this is all together. Okay. All right, I got you. You got to understand that this shit is all together. We can't say, nah, let's not talk about George Floyd. I'm not saying
let's not talk about.
Nah, let's not talk about Trayvon. Nah, let's all this shit go together, Marv.
Right? No, I know it all goes together. But what I'm saying is, I have a question for you regarding the recent people. Right. We'll get to that. I want to give Naomi a shout out because what she's talking about, like what you're saying. Well, let's talk about the recent shit. That's the shit that black people don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people names need to be said. This, if she don't wear this mask, George Floyd can be easily forgotten. Ahmaud Arbery can be easily forgotten. Right. Elijah McClain can be easily forgotten. So even though it was in the past, right? Right.
It relates to Jacob Blake because
right. I'm not saying let's not talk about her. I'm not saying let's not,
Right.
What she's doing is great.
Right.
But I have a question about the recent Jacob Blake and others. Since we talked last,
right,
things have transpired that are new.
Right. So what?
Now, this is new since we've talked last.
Yes, yeah. Okay. That's what I was saying. So I was saying. So what Naomi is doing? She's keeping these names alive, right? Jacob Blake. Now I brought this up because the Jacob Blake situation, to me, is a little different, right?
And that was my question. That was my question: is are we as a society bandwagoning or just jumping on every single black guy or person that gets killed?
Right. So
are we just jumping on it where they showed him with a knife? Mm-hmm. So is the officer just supposed to get killed?
Right. So I think
not because here's the thing. This is what I don't want people to. I don't think that when I say the media, I said before that the media does not help in any of this. Is that just because a doctor performs malpractice, are you going to try to kill every doctor? Are you going to try to say that every doctor is bad? Well, you can't do this. You can't do that with police officers. You can't say every police officer is bad.
Right. But who's saying that though? Who said every police officer is bad?
What I'm saying is that I've heard people say that. I've heard people group. I just feel like as a society we have this grouped mindset with a lot of things, including this, where it's like people were, basically recently in Compton, 2 police officers got ambushed. Mm-hmm. And so there were reports that there were protesters at the hospital protesting against the police officers.
Right.
When police officers, you don't know those individuals. Mm-hmm. You don't know those police officers' personal life. Mm-hmm. You don't know what they did. They could be great people.
Could be every person they got. But this, I'm gonna say this though.
But do you agree that we have a mindset of as a society?
No, I don't agree.
You don't agree with that?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't agree because
you don't believe that we're a bandwagon society.
I don't agree because black men getting killed is not a bandwagon. There's no bandwagon about it. And even though I feel like Jacob Blake was in the wrong, mm-hmm. okay, the way it was handled was not right.
No, I agree with that too.
Okay, so that's what That's what we're talking about here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, far as I don't like that the boy
he shouldn't have gotten shot 7. I think that getting shot 7 times was not justified.
You damn right, it's not justified.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get shot. Pow, 1 shot. Pow, 2 shot. Pow,
3
3 shot. Pow, 4 shot. Pow,
5, 6, 7.
Pow.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
That's not justified.
Come on now. Over a knife?
Right.
What's the old saying? Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. So I don't want to hear that shit about no knife or none of that. Now, this is what I'm saying. Far as character, right? Who this man was, what the situation was, I don't think that the NBA should have boycotted off of him, right?
Right.
Right?
I think but I do think that they were boycotting off of the movement.
Exactly. So that's why I was saying when I brought up Naomi, what Naomi was doing, it matters. Yeah, these names like, oh, that's old or whatever, Right. But you can't speak like that because that shit's not old. This shit just happened a few months ago.
Right.
George Floyd just happened, right? And then you talking about.
To be honest with you, if you really want to break it down into time, let's take the lifetime of civilization, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's take the civil rights movement in the 60s, right? The 60s in retrospective, I guess, or is not a long time ago.
Oh, not at all.
Not even 2 generations ago.
Not even 2 generations
Not even
ago.
2 generations ago.
Right. And
and so the 90s, that's
Rodney King.
That was right around the corner.
Yeah.
Like in the past, I was like,
right.
And I'm talking about the big picture here.
Yeah.
Like the big picture of, you gotta take into consideration. This stuff does not go away overnight.
Right.
It does not go away overnight because you're teaching generations and future generations.
Right. So that's why when I say when I as your black friend, I'm helping you with your vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? So you can't never use no bandwagon when it comes to this Black Lives Matter shit right now. I don't even really, and my feelings as a black man are changing no Black Lives Matter. Like somebody said the other day, like, where the fuck is all this Black Lives Matter money going? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Where is it going? I haven't seen Black Lives Matter in the neighborhood that I grew up back home, or the bad neighborhoods that I know are messing up a home, right?
Or fixing up or feeding children,
right.
Or
I haven't seen Black Lives Matter in the hood out here in LA and Compton and stuff, passing out masks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is Black Lives Matter really doing? So that's questions that are starting to arise, right? Like, what's really going on? And so even though the NBA boycott was just a couple of days and those guys could have definitely slid stronger, but with all these different athletes and the people who really have influence, keep speaking on it, hopefully it forces people to, go out and vote locally, right? And really push this agenda. Because I don't even think they were talking about defunding the police. Like, fuck that. Let's fund the police. Let's fund the police and push for people of color to get in there, right?
Right.
You think officers will think twice when they see somebody of the same color? Like, they don't shoot as quick, right?
But here's something that some people have said, but not the main media. The main politicians, they have our best interest at heart, right? Mm-hmm. So if they really wanted to solve this problem, there's a lot of facets. There's a lot of moving parts to this, to these situations, and to the overall bigger picture. But from studies of other countries and their police academies, their police officers go more than 12 weeks. Their police officers have training that are a year, 2 years, 4 years. I strongly believe that if a lawyer has to go to school and know the law for 4 years and then go to law school, then officers, if you want to be a police officer, you have to have a 4-year degree. You have to have higher education. Because I don't think that 12 weeks is enough to be given a gun and some handcuffs and say, go get him. I just don't agree with that.
I can't even knock you on that. 12 weeks is what, 3 months, if that.
And I don't want you. I want to go back here just a second. I don't want you to feel like. I don't want you to feel like these killings are bandwagon and all. That's no. I'm saying as a society, as a whole, we are a bandwagon society.
Yeah. Well,
we are.
This is what I'm saying.
We are. If your friends are like, yeah,
no,
everybody's like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, I say we are a bandwagon society, but this is what I mean. This is what I. Because you're not only helping me, you're helping everybody. I'm helping everybody
else.
And this is what I want you to understand, because I can see it in you because I see it in me, right? Okay. You, just like me, really are tired of talking about this shit. To be honest, like when we talked about we're going to do Black Lives Matter Part 2, almost like I see it in your face, but it's just like in my face, it's like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
well, because guess what? I'm tired of black people being singled out.
Well, that's good to hear. That's actually good to hear out your mouth.
I'm tired of. So when you say that we're tired of talking about it, I'm not tired of talking about it for the fact that I'm tired of talking about it. Like, oh, let's just forget about this. No, it's just kind of like it's the same old hamster wheel shit. It's kind of like, are we really going through this again? Have we not learned from our mistakes? And they say that history repeats itself.
Every week.
And I'm like,
a motherfucker getting shot every week.
Does it really have to repeat itself? Does history really have to repeat itself?
Every week?
Are we that fucking stupid?
Right.
Really, honestly, are we that fucking stupid where...
Get mad, Marv. Get mad, Marv. Let them know. Because look, this is the thing. We've had some heart to hearts about this thing,
and
right?
I don't think that our government has been very good leaders in any of this.
Oh no, they're moving in extra slow motion with this because
they are. Yeah, when you have NBA players that show more leadership quality than your government, that's a problem.
Yeah. It's like an ongoing cancer, in America. It's a virus. This whole racism, our system of inequality and injustice has been a virus that we were kind of born with. America was kind of born with it, and so now it's up to us, to be the vaccine, for us to be the radiation, for us to be the holistic health that this country needs, you know what I mean? And I think for people listening, that's one thing I want y'all to go ahead and understand. The reason why we're doing this show, me and my white friend, the reason why we named it Me and My White Friend, one is to put our race difference out in front. And then our whole platform is to bring people together of all races, all colors through dialogue, conversations like this about things that maybe you haven't talked to a white person about. Me and Marv, we've had many convos off the camera about, racism and inequality, injustice. But, bringing the people together through laughter, bringing people together through music, and then, bringing people together through the podcast because we have more things that bring us together than that separate us.
Right.
When we were talking about this the other day too, like, everybody growing up has been picked on. You could be the prettiest girl in the world, the most handsome guy, but at one time in your life, somebody was getting on your ass about something, So and you've been hurt at some point. Somebody has hurt you. A lover has hurt you. You've been crossed. You've been talked about. So, it's all been the same. And I am torn, like I said, because it's so funny. Like I had to, with the Jacob Blakes and everything that just happened so recently, like I think I said it last time, but sometimes you become numb to it. Like you damn near become desensitized because, if I sit here and dwell on all the black people getting killed, and it's on my mind 24/7. I'm gonna be living in fear all the time. When we go jogging, I'm gonna be in fear at all times like that. I could be fucking shot for no reason at all times. So I can't walk around in fear, you know what I mean? So a lot of times, I see that shit and, I don't pay no attention to it because like you said, the media has an agenda. So to me, the media's agenda is to have me walking in fear. I'm not going to allow anybody to project that on my life. You know what I'm saying? And I want anybody of color to also hear that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you could do whatever you want to do. You're not a second-class citizen. You've never been a second-class citizen. You know what I mean? So, pay attention to the media, but don't let it consume you. You know what I mean? Because there are no limits in your life. You know what I mean? No weapon formed against you shall prosper. All that shit is real. You know what I mean? Like, you control your destiny. You know what I mean? We're at a mental and spiritual war against just the people, not just black people, but just people. There's a lot of hate being projected in the world, and we gotta bring that love back. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think we got to bring that. I think we're doing good at that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wanted to. I had a question for you, but it just left me.
Was it a black question? Like,
Yeah, it was a.
Why do I put hot sauce on popcorn? Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. What was I gonna ask you?
It's all right. You probably remember. Soon as we hit the off button, you're gonna remember.
I know. Anyways, I wanted to let you know this real quick. Is I recently stumbled upon this channel on YouTube called White Underbelly, and what it is this guy interviews a lot of interesting people, a lot of people from Skid Row actually. So he'll prostitutes and escorts and drug addicts and alcoholics and people that are on Skid Row really living their life. Oh, I do remember my question, but I'll get back to it. Living, just their story. Anyways, I saw the other day he interviewed this Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, and it was about 12 minutes long. And then after I watched the whole thing, and in the middle of it, towards the end, this guy said something very ignorant, and I want to let everyone know that he said, well, we brought the blacks over here from Africa, and we kind of did them a favor by educating them and teaching them English. So first of all, people in Africa 400 years ago, 600 years ago, 1,000 years ago were perfectly fine. They were kings, queens. They were rich. They had societies. They were educated. So,
now, I'm sorry to be laughing in the middle of your monologue, but this is so
that's
funny.
That's the truth, though.
It's funny, but it's so adorable hearing this from my wife friend because this is all new information to him, though.
It's not. Not the education. Not the. I already knew that people from Africa were kings and queens.
You didn't know to the certain extent after having a black friend, and we've discussed things. I've educated you on a lot of.
You have educated on me a lot of things.
So that's why it tickles me. That's why it tickles me so much when Marv.
But I knew off the jump that we didn't just. That not
you didn't bring us here and teach us English and give us all culture and clothe us and this is how you be a human being.
Yeah, no. That did not happen.
We'll teach you this cotton first, and then we'll let you evolve, and we'll give you a football and let y'all play basketball.
Right? Yeah. So, anyways, researcher stuff.
Yeah, what was the question before we get out of here?
Before we get out of here, my question do you agree that white kid, as noble as it is, white kids from well-to-do neighborhoods, that have no clue what it's like to live in poverty or to have government assistance or or to walk down the road and know what it's like to live in fear because of the color of your skin. And they're out here and they're yelling Black Lives Matter and they're breaking windows and they're screaming and shouting, which very noble. You're standing up for a cause. But as my black friend, as a black man, these kids or these people that have no clue what it's like, what do you say to them? What is your thought? Because you growing up in Guilford County in Greensboro, I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
You had a lot of white friends.
Yeah, I went to a mixed school.
You went to a mixed school. You had a lot of white friends. So you saw John. You saw John and Bill and all of them.
So
with their 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and their fence, and they went home to a nice meal from their mama.
So your question is, how do I feel about white people who had no struggle whatsoever supporting the Black Lives Matter movement?
Right. Where they have no, or maybe they speak on it and they have no. They might not
are they supporting it or are they not supporting it? You're talking about the people that support it and they're out there, Black Lives Matter, but they never went through anything. That's what you're saying.
Right, exactly.
How do I feel about it?
Right.
That's fine. Shit. You want to know why? Because most of them probably, like you said, they might, no matter what their parents might have been saying in high school about blacks, nigga this, nigga that behind closed doors. When they went to school, right, and they had gym class with Reggie, or they had science class with Reggie, and he was a good spirit, and he actually helped me out when I was getting picked on, or he looked out for me in the cafeteria, or he made sure I was cool, I was a white guy there, then deep down, their heart is going to be different, right? And
because the reason I ask that is because I've talked to other people, my other black friends. Yes, Reggie, I have other black friends. Sorry to admit that to you, especially on our podcast live. Sorry.
So you talk to other black friends and what?
And so and they're like, man, they don't know what it's like. They don't know what it's like to grow up in the hood. They don't know what it's like to grow up in the
It ain't about growing up in the hood. A lot of people can. It don't matter your color to grow up in the hood. All right.
Right.
Let's get that out in the open. But to grow up black or to grow up a person of color, you don't know. You won't know. You can't know.
So that's another thing is you don't know what it's like to live in a black person's skin because guess what? You aren't black.
Right. You don't know. You won't understand that. But to have compassion, right, and to try to understand and be willing to understand.
That's great.
That's a difference. To take information and accept it. Like the information I gave you, you could have, because of the way you grew up and the stuff you know about history, and you being white, psychology wise, you could have had cognitive dissonance, which basically like, nah, no way, I'm not gonna believe that because that's not what I've always been taught. But because we were having an intense conversation, you were able to like hear me, right? Not just listen, but you actually were able to.
But I've always been me personally, I've always been like that with any subject.
Yeah. Well, I said, I could. You got a good soul. You know what I mean? Like you're just a good guy, and I think it comes from the way you were raised up. You know what I mean? Like you said, you were picked on when you were younger. You know what I'm saying? So that.
But my parents never taught me to hate anybody.
Right. That matters as well. Home training. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, you had black friends early in your life.
Right. I've always had black friends.
All that matters in who the man that you've become today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we wanna keep that in mind, and that's what we want to close with.
And we want to keep this movement moving.
That's what we want to close with.
We want to promote love, peace,
and
togetherness.
If you out there listening, we're gonna let you know right now. This is straight from me and my white friend. If you watching this on YouTube, look, we love you.
Subscribe.
No matter what's going on in the world, me and my white friend loves you. Go follow us. Go watch season 1 on YouTube. Me and my white friend. If you want to see everything, you can check out the website www.meandmywhitefriend.com.
Facebook, Instagram. Please go and TikTok.
All that stuff. Check us out. We on all platforms, man. And look, Black Lives Matter. Keep that in mind. Don't forget it.
Yes, they do.
We love you. Peace.